trying to escape quickly on his motorcycle, couldn't get away and became the drone's target. Another soldier is targeted by a drone appearing directly in front of him. The Russian soldiers were unaware of the drone rapidly approaching from behind to attack. When the drone finally got close, the soldier tried to flee, but it was too late. The vehicles used by Russian soldiers were destroyed by the Signum battalion. Ukrainian forces continue to use motorcycles to move quickly along the front lines. A moving vehicle carrying Russian soldiers became the target of a kamikaze drone attack. The soldiers jumped out at the last moment and tried to escape, but the rapidly approaching drone struck and blew up the vehicle. The scene opens in eerie silence. A stretch of terrain, seemingly empty, sways gently under the wind. But hidden among the dense bushes, a lone soldier lies in wait, still camouflaged, hoping to remain unseen. But the sky watches everything. A military drone operator, scanning the area with practiced eyes, spots the subtle movement. A shape, a shadow, a threat. Without hesitation, the operator locks in. Coordinates are set. The drone launches, fast, silent, and merciless. It cuts through the air, weaving past trees and terrain, closing in on the concealed target. The soldier never sees it coming. Impact. The bushes erupt in flame and debris. The hidden position is obliterated. The silence returns, but now it's final. This wasn't just a strike. It was a demonstration of modern warfare's reach. No trench, no bush, no camouflage can hide you from the eye in the sky. Utility kill GoPro witness. The footage begins with a soldier's breath. A GoPro camera mounted on his helmet captures the rhythm of war. Quiet, tense, unpredictable. Through the lens, we see the terrain. Broken roads, scattered debris, and a small Russian utility truck moving slowly across the field. It's not armored. It's not fast. But it's carrying men, one at the wheel, another in the back. Then the call comes in. A Ukrainian FPV drone is already airborne, guided by operators watching from afar. The drone locks onto the truck's movement, adjusting speed, angle, and altitude. The GoPro captures the moment the soldier spots it. Just a speck in the sky, growing larger. Seconds later, impact. The explosion is sharp and direct. The truck jolts violently. Smoke erupts. The driver is wounded, slumped over the wheel, trying to move. The occupant in the back is thrown from the vehicle, lifeless. The GoPro shakes as the soldier moves in, scanning for survivors, confirming the kill. The truck is disabled. The mission is complete. But the footage doesn't just show destruction. It shows the intimacy of modern warfare, how a drone, a camera, and a single strike can change everything in seconds. Reconnaissance drones spotted 2 Russian military vehicles advancing. The 63rd Mechanized Infantry Battalion responded immediately, striking one of the vehicles with a kamikaze drone. The drone targeted the driver's compartment, and the high explosives caused severe damage, setting the vehicle on fire before the Russian soldiers could escape. The second vehicle turned around and withdrew. You can support us by liking the video and leaving a comment. This is the Kherson region, an area claimed by Russian forces as under their control. However, the situation on the ground tells a different story. Ukrainian drones launched continuous strikes against Russian positions. The 63rd Mechanized Brigade conducted a coordinated operation using multiple drones, systematically identifying and targeting enemy positions. Over the course of the 4-day drone campaign, 30 Russian positions were destroyed, 50 Russian soldiers were reported killed, and an unknown number were wounded. Mission: Ukrainian troops spotted a Russian soldier hiding inside one of the houses. Ukraine's specially trained professional soldiers first launched an intense attack to drive the Russian soldiers out of the building. However, when the Russian soldiers began returning fire with the same intensity, the Ukrainian troops were forced to retreat slightly. Since the Russian position was quite advantageous, the Ukrainian soldiers decided not to put themselves at greater risk and deployed drones instead. Ukrainian FPV drones struck the house where the Russian soldiers were located and neutralized them. This moment once again shows how modern warfare is changing. Direct engagements are increasingly being replaced by precise drone strikes, where technology determines the outcome faster and with greater safety for the operators. Rear-mounted camera captures a Ukrainian Mi-24 attack helicopter firing a salvo of unguided rockets at Russian positions. The footage highlights the raw power and precision of low-altitude assault tactics. Russian trench positions were left fully exposed and became easy targets for drones. Ukraine's 4th Operational Brigade, along with the 3rd Sabata Battalion of Rubigia, struck Russian positions using FPV attack drones carrying explosives. In total, 5 Russian positions were neutralized during the operation in the Kupiansk region. A Russian multiple rocket launcher system, the BM-30 Smerch, valued at millions of dollars, was spotted by Ukrainian forces in a vulnerable position. An FPV drone carrying explosives worth only a few $1,000s struck the launcher, triggering a massive explosion that destroyed the vehicle's missiles. Russian forces continue to lose high-value military equipment to precision drone attacks. Split second, 1 shot, 2 threats. The footage opens in the thick of combat. A Ukrainian soldier moves through shattered terrain, eyes sharp, rifle steady. The air is tense, the silence deceptive. Then movement. An enemy combatant emerges from cover, weapon raised. The Ukrainian soldier reacts instantly. 1 shot, clean, precise. The threat drops, but there's no time to breathe. A high-pitched whine cuts through the air, the unmistakable sound of an incoming FPV drone. It's Russian, it's armed, and it's hunting. The soldier doesn't flinch. He pivots, tracks the drone, and fires. A burst of rounds. The drone jerks mid-air, spirals, and crashes in a plume of dust and sparks, neutralized before it could strike. 2 threats, 2 kills. 1 soldier of the brigade successfully recaptured and secured the settlement. Thanks to effective command and the high-level training of the troops, the mission was completed without losses. The Ukrainian defenders once again demonstrated resilience, professionalism, and determination to achieve victory, the report stated. Magyar's Bird's drone unit reports eliminating up to 2,500 Russian troops over the last 2 weeks. The released video shows a compilation of drone footage from the Ukrainian 414th UAV Brigade, Magyar's Birds, targeting Russian forces on the Pokrovsk front in the Donetsk region. In the first half of August, Ukrainian drone operators noted that Russian forces, while conserving armored vehicles, continued deploying personnel on light transport such as pickup trucks and motorcycles. This tactic, however, has proven ineffective against precision drone strikes. According to Ukrainian operators, Russian command appears to prioritize the preservation of armored equipment, often at the expense of deploying infantry with limited protection. Ukrainian drone reconnaissance units effectively intercepted these transport movements, while FPV drones executed precision strikes on exposed positions, leaving Russian troops with little ability to maneuver or conceal themselves. Repelled a Russian armored convoy on the Kupiansk front. Units of the 10th Army Corps, together with attached formations, successfully blocked the first Russian mechanized assault in a long time in the Kupiansk direction. This was reported by the press service of the Corps and Major Yuri Fedorino, commander of the 49th Separate Regiment of Unmanned Systems, Achilles. According to Fedorino, following recent negotiations in Alaska, Russian forces attempted to regain initiative and launched a mechanized assault using armored vehicles toward the left bank part of Kupiansk. The assault group consisted of 2 tanks, 3 MTLBs, and around 40 personnel. Thanks to the coordinated and timely actions of the 429th Separate Regiment of Unmanned Systems Achilles, the 116th Separate Mechanized Brigade, and the 15th Operational Brigade Karadag, the offensive was halted. All 5 armored vehicles were neutralized, with forces of the 4th and 29th Regiment disabling 1 tank and 2 MTLBs, while another MTLB was heavily damaged. Ukrainian tanks and ground robots advanced to clear Russian positions from the village of Vasila. Additional footage shows the liberation of Vesil in the Dobropol region by soldiers of the 93rd Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, supported by a significant number of ground-based robotic complexes equipped with machine guns. Notably, these robotic systems are being used more frequently in modern combat operations. During the assault, one of the robotic units broadcasted messages through a loudspeaker calling on Russian troops to surrender. Stabilization efforts and the full containment of Russian forces in the Dorilia area are ongoing. The opposing side has brought in reinforcements, including additional infantry and specialized drone crews, particularly Rubicon operators skilled in logistics, who are already complicating the situation. In a masterclass of modern drone warfare, the Panama unit of Ukraine's 1st Special Purpose Brigade executed a surgical strike using fiber-optic FPV drones against a Russian field ammunition depot in the Bryansk direction. The operation wasn't just a hit, it was a disruption. Large quantities of munitions were destroyed, and nearby enemy equipment was neutralized, severely impacting Russian supply lines. What makes this strike extraordinary is the use of fiber-optic guidance, allowing drone pilots to maintain uninterrupted control and real-time visuals even in areas saturated with electronic jamming. These drones, tethered by ultra-thin cables, can maneuver through forests, buildings, and trenches with pinpoint accuracy, delivering explosive payloads to targets that would normally require heavy artillery. Each strike was calculated, deliberate, and devastating. The footage shows drones threading through terrain like guided missiles, detonating with surgical force. This operation underscores the growing dominance of FPV drones in frontline warfare, where speed, stealth, and precision now rival brute firepower. This time, the new target of the Signum Battalion was Russian artillery positions. FPV drones successfully infiltrated the sites, disabling the artillery units one by one. No matter how well they tried to hide, Russian positions could not escape the sights of Ukraine's experienced drone pilots. With cost-effective drones, Ukrainian forces successfully neutralized Russian artillery systems worth thousands of dollars. In addition to striking artillery, Signum Battalion drones also targeted ammunition depots and resupply points. Every successful hit not only destroyed equipment but also disrupted Russian firepower on the front line. Ukrainian forces from the 20th Separate Regiment of Unmanned Systems, K2 unit, have been actively monitoring and engaging Russian units both in urban areas and along frontline positions. Their drones operate with precision, identifying patrols, vehicles, and fortified positions, often acting before enemy forces realize they are under observation. These operations have disrupted Russian advances, disabled key equipment, and forced enemy units to relocate repeatedly. In urban settings, K2 drones navigate tight streets and alleys, effectively neutralizing threats. On the front lines, they continue to apply pressure on Russian formations, demonstrating the strategic impact of Ukraine's unmanned systems in modern operations. In this footage, a hangar containing Russian vehicles is targeted. Within moments, the strike disables the vehicles inside, highlighting the operational effectiveness of Ukraine's drone capabilities. Ukrainian FPV drones continue to demonstrate their precision on the battlefield. In this footage, Russian forces launched a mechanized assault, bringing forward tanks, armored vehicles, and transport. To protect themselves, they covered the machines with anti-drone nets and even camouflaged them with branches, hoping to avoid detection. However, Ukrainian drone operators, with their experience and composure, turned the assault into a failure. With steady precision, they guided FPVs onto the targets, breaking through improvised defenses and striking with accuracy. Within moments, the tanks and vehicles intended to break through the lines were disabled and left in ruins. These strikes serve as a reminder. No nets, camouflage, or concealment can prevent skilled Ukrainian drone pilots from finding their mark. Every attempted advance ends under the watchful control of FPV operators who have mastered the art of modern warfare. In this footage, another striking episode of Ukrainian forces in action is shown through precise strikes by fiber-optic drones. A rare Korean 107mm multiple launch rocket system, Type 75, used by Russian forces, was destroyed. Ukrainian operators demonstrated exceptional skill, guiding the drone with surgical accuracy to eliminate the target. This is yet another example of how modern technology, in the hands of experienced fighters, can turn even the enemy's most formidable systems into wreckage. Well, friends, this brings us to the end of our video. Support us by liking, subscribing, and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss the latest footage straight from the front line.